One of the clear characteristics of this market has been the domination of storage stocks or stocks which have no earnings or sales and they make big moves. The good example of that would be any of these stocks which are like up the most for the year. So if you take the universe, which is basically stocks priced above 3 and liquidity above 100,000, and sort it by YTD, you will see that there are these stocks like NCTY, GME, and whole host of them, which are up a lot. And even if you look at any of these stocks, what you will see is that most of them are basically essentially stocks which have no sales or earnings, or they're just like based on some story, right? AMC or GME is a complete story, right? It's a loss-making company, or for that matter, the company with the stock which I shorted, Plug Power, which is which this year hasn't really been the YTD winner, but if you see last year, it made a move of around 1900% based on a story, right? And it's a story basically, doesn't have really actual sales or profit to uh, support that particular thing. So let's look at this universe of stocks, and let's look at, like, say, if you sort them by YTD. So what it means is, as of this date, from the first trading day of 2021, these are the stocks which were up the most or down the most, right? And so if you select the top 100 stocks, right, and if you select the top 100 stocks here, this is like an 100 stock, right, basically. And let's take out regular hours, show data for regular hours, so that it will not keep changing, right? And so if you look at, like, and I say YTD, and go and select top 100 stocks, um, there is this entire idea in the market, okay, which is that stocks with good growth and good profit make the biggest move, right? And the hypothesis is that that is what drives stock price. Is that true, basically? So you have 100 stocks, right? Now, when we go to buckets, whether it is bucket 0 or whether it is bucket 1 or bucket 2, these are the stocks which have actually good sales growth. All of these stocks are growing at 39% plus uh, per quarter, right? For the last 2 quarters at least. Or these stocks in the bucket 2 are basically growing at 25% plus 2 quarters in a row, and they have a profitability, right? And so if you look at it, how many stocks can you explain? So you have 3 here, okay? You have, like, and I say 2 here, so 5 stocks, right? And bucket 0 has like an 7 plus 5, 12 stocks. So 12 stocks out of the top 100 stocks is explained by their sales or earnings. So remaining 88% of the stocks, or 88 stocks, are not explained by their earnings or sales. So if we focus all our attentions on stocks with earnings and sales, or we become the follower of the IBD kind of philosophy, you're going to leave 88% of the market um, out, because most of the stocks have no sales, earnings, or growth, or they're just going based on some story, right? So how do you find them? And one of the ways in which you can find them still, like, let's look at like EG100, and EG100 is the list of stocks which is created using the most aggressive buying characteristics, or the most aggressive buying characteristics in the market, right? And in order to create the aggressiveness buying is what I'm looking at, right? So if you look at those stocks which I selected, the top 100 based on that, if you look at the top 100 out of this particular EG100, right? So what you are going to see is that that's the downside of the list, right? And this is the upside of the list, okay? So 323 stocks which are there, 77 of the stocks which are in the top 100 are in the EG100, right? So that tells you everything which you need to know in terms of, like, basically which list you should be focused on, which list you should be focused on. If you want to find most of the big winners, focus on EG100 basically, and that can help you find the stocks which make the biggest move. If you focus completely on stocks with sales or earnings growth, what you are going to miss out is you're going to miss out on 88% of the stocks in the market. The market doesn't really care about profit and sales. What it cares for is a story, right? And story stocks are making moves, which are like crazy kind of moves, or they are the one. And if you want to make money, you want to be where the money is and not really worry about whether it has earnings or sales. Obviously, for working people, because they want to hold things for long term and things like that, they might have a different consideration. But the fact remains, an absolute fact remains, that market like stories, right? And stories is where the money is. So the more interesting, more gripping the story, the better it is. And that's story time, insight into how the market works.